In this video, I want to introduce you to a new device, the Anbernic RG35XX 2024, the vertical version. This is my first console from the Anbernic family. I've been wanting to get acquainted with this device for a long time, and I invite you to do this together. In this video, we will look at the button ergonomics, talk about the software, and test a few games. As always, let's start with the specifications. The Anbernic RG35XX runs on a Cortex-A53 processor. The console comes with a dual-core G31 GPU and has 1 GB of LPDDR4 RAM. The display is 3.5 inches with a resolution of 640 by 480 pixels. The battery has a capacity of 2600 mAh, allowing you to play for up to 7 hours. The console does not have a built-in Wi-Fi adapter, but support for an external Wi-Fi adapter is claimed on the official website. We will check if this is true later. The console runs on Anbernic's proprietary operating system based on Linux. By the way, I managed to buy this model on Aliexpress for 44 euros with free and fast shipping to Spain. I think this is an amazingly low price. You can find the Aliexpress link to this console in the description box. Let's move on to the unboxing. The RG35XX arrived in this packaging. I ordered the version with a white transparent plastic case, but there are 3 more colors available in the store: matte translucent black, translucent purple and standard gray, which looks like the original Game Boy. Inside the box we find a brief user manual, a screen protector and a cloth. We also see a USB Type-A to USB Type-C charging cable. Now let's take a look at the device itself. Yes, this is the transparent white model. I really like it and think it looked very aesthetic and futuristic. Even the black buttons looks good, but probably if they were white and matte, the console would be even more stylish. The texture of the plastic is slightly rough, which makes the device tactily pleasant. With such a surface, the console is quite comfortable to hold in your hands. On the front, we see black glossy buttons. They are pleasant to the touch and press quite well. The D-pad is moderately elastic and also presses perfectly. It feels very similar to the D-pad of the R36S console. On the back, we see the standard 4 buttons. Triggers that are often used in games on PlayStation 1, PSP, Nintendo 64 and so on. On the top of the console, we see a mini HDMI port for transmitting the image to a monitor or TV. Unfortunately, I don't have this cable, so I can't test this feature. On the right side, there is the power and reset button, as well as 2 slots for SD cards. By default, the console comes with a 64 GB memory card. I advise you to replace it immediately with a more reliable branded SD card, as these memory cards are usually of very low quality and can fail at any moment. The first slot is for the SD card with the operating system, and the second slot is for storing and launching a collection of games. If desired, you can use only the first SD port and combine the operating system and game collection on one SD card. On the bottom of the console, we have a headphone jack and a USB Type-C port for charging or connecting a Wi-Fi adapter, as this console does not have built-in Wi-Fi. On the left side of the console, there is a volume control. Overall, I really like how this console looks and feels. When I tried to turn on the console for the first time, I couldn't get it to work. The device turned out to be completely discharged. I tried to charge it with the usual cable that I use for all my devices, but the charging process did not start. Then I connected the console to the charger using the included cable, and the charging process began. So keep this in mind and charge your console before first use. Before we continue, please like and subscribe to the channel. Also, you can click the bell icon to not miss new videos. By the way, you can support me and become my sponsor on YouTube or Patreon. This is a unique opportunity to become part of our private community and get access to exclusive content. I constantly share mockups, interesting fonts, wallpapers, and other useful design materials with my sponsors. Thank you for your support. Let's continue. Let's turn on the console and look at its interface. The console comes with a standard Anbernic firmware. I haven't dealt with this operating system yet, but in future videos I will experiment with operating systems and share my impressions. The console boots up quite quickly. The interface seems bulky to me because of the large icons. I think they should tweak the visual design a bit to make the interface more attractive. Right now, it looks more like a beta version with test icons. On the left side of the interface is the game room section. Here we see a list of console emulators. We can scroll through them and choose the one we like the most, but I recommend you to run only the PSP emulator in this section, as it gives the best performance. For all other games, there is a second section on the main screen, RetroArch game. RetroArch gives good performance in retro games, and I advise you to use it by default. Here we see a menu with consoles names. We can select the desired system, enter it, and then choose any game, and launch it by pressing the A button. I want to note that this console has a fairly good speaker that produces pleasant sound. Overall, all actions in the operating system are accompanied by a pleasant sound and even vibration. Yes, this console has built-in vibration. To exit the game, you need to press the start and menu buttons together. Everything is very simple and convenient. If you like the game, you can press the start button and add it to your favorites. This way, the game will be in a separate section on the main screen called Favorites. In this section, all your favorite games that you add yourself will be located. This will significantly simplify navigation among thousands of games. The next section is the App Center. Here you will find applications that allow you to listen to music, watch videos, read books, view files, and more. For all these applications, there are corresponding folders on the SD card, where you can copy your media files and, for example, use the console as an audio player or watch your favorite series. The next section is History. Here are all the games you recently launched, so if you forgot to add the game to favorites, you can probably quickly find it in this section. The next section is Search. I don't think it makes sense to describe it in detail. It is also a convenient navigation tool that you have to use occasionally. And finally, the last menu item is Settings. Here we see menu items such as battery, lock screen, date and time, language settings, RetroArch settings, icon settings, and others. Now that we have briefly familiarized ourselves with the main items in the operating system and its interface, let's move on to the games. Let's start by looking at how classic NES games run, with my favorite game as an example, Jurassic Park. Now we can look at game from the Game Boy Advance console. Let's try to run a more demanding game and see the performance. Mega Man from PSP runs without problems. Playing it around 60 frames per second is quite pleasant. This is more than enough for comfortable gaming. Another of my favorite games, Splinter Cell for Game Boy Advance, works excellently. You can play comfortably. Now, regarding the benchmark game, GTA Vice City Stories for PSP. It runs from 30 to 15 frames per second. These are not very good indicators, but if desired, it is possible to play it. I had the same experience playing on my R36S console.
Sailor, this captain's going down now. Captain ain't mean no harm by it. You don't upset the captain. Don't scuff the captain's threads, baby. Two ships passing in the night. I'm professional, you chump.
And now let's test the functionality of the Wi-Fi adapter. For the test, I'm using this Wi-Fi adapter, which was bought for €2 on Aliexpress. You can find the link to this adapter in the description box. As you can see, the console didn't recognize the adapter, and moreover, I did not find a Wi-Fi network connection option in the settings. Perhaps with other operating systems this feature will work. We will check this in other videos. In conclusion, I want to say that I really like this console. The device is well built and looks expensive and reliable. The console is pleasant to hold in your hands. It is compact and can be easily carried around. It is convenient to play classic games and enjoy nostalgia. And given the price of this console and the use of various promo codes on AliExpress, its purchase with free shipping becomes a great deal. I remind you that you can buy the RG35XX in the official store Anbernic on AliExpress via the link in the description box. In the next videos, we will look at how it works with other operating systems and compare it with other portable consoles. Now like and subscribe to the channel. I wish you pleasant nostalgia and successful completion of your favorite games.